Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Apolla's Odyssey. I'm your host, Apolla Asteria, and I am back in the United States. It's good to be back. I know I'm so sorry I haven't done a show in so long. It's good to see everyone on here tonight. And, I just want to go over some updates and disclosure because there's a lot that's been happening in regards to UFO disclosure. Apparently I've been a little out of the loop. I've been gone, but so apparently though Congress is going over the UFO briefings officially now. So we're going to go over that. We're going to go over this Bigfoot sighting that happened yesterday or today, I believe. A black cube that was filmed coming out of the sun by NASA, which if a lot of you are in the UFO community, you've probably already heard that. It happened like a week ago, but I'm just getting it back into all this. So we're going to go over all of this. A few more articles as well. I just kind of want to catch everyone up along with myself on what's going on in the government right now in regards to UFO disclosure. And then we're going to start having some guests on again. So I'm excited for that. I've been actually a little out of the loop because I was in Thailand for the second time. I went traveling there. I did some amazing adventures, or went to Ayutthaya this time, and also the island Phuket. Ayutthaya was a very interesting place. That is actually the ancient capital of Thailand, or Siam, I guess it was called at that time. And, there were a lot of really incredible ancient relics there, a lot of incredible ruins. And I captured and filmed all of it. So I think I'm going to make like a very well edited kind of episode on that. So I'm excited for that. I think I'll just kind of do that, a more edited thing instead of pulling it up and going over it live with you all. So that's going to be really cool. Also, I plan on doing some more interviews coming up here. Because I've been out of the loop for a while. And, actually I kind of went through a little bit of a health issue after getting back. Kind of got a little bit of a kidney infection for a while, so was out of commission, but I'm feeling good now. And, it really takes going through things like that to realize how much you appreciate having good health and living a good life, So I'm really feeling good right now, and I'm excited to see you all in the comments here. I know people are probably not used to me being on my usual Wednesday time, but I'm going to be back during the Wednesday time slots again. So please remember to tune in on Wednesdays now at 5 p.m. I will try to do that every Wednesday from now on. Also, I do plan on doing some more edited, shorter 15-minute kind of episodes, because a lot of people have been asking me for that. And I think I'll be able to pull in a lot more subscribers that way. So that's something I'm going to be working on, as I'm going to be kind of changing locations here in the Hollywood Hills. Still going to be here in the Hills, but most likely moving to another location in the Hills. So that will be really amazing, because in this place I'm going to have way more space to have way more studio space to work on things. And it's going to make all my projects a lot more fun and a lot more space for all my projects. So that's going to be really cool. Once I go through that whole process, which will probably take place beginning of next month, I'm really going to be able to buckle down and focus on a lot of things I've been wanting to to for a very long time. So I'm excited for it. Really excited for it. Just catching up on the comments here. Thanks, Alien Girl. I'm glad you like my hair. Just been playing around with different extensions. Just kidding. My hair actually grew like 3 feet in a month. Just kidding. I wish that was possible. I really wish. Matthew Meinhardt says, I thought Apolla was abducted and taken off world. That might have happened. Who knows? Maybe I should just say that when I'm gone. Like, I'll just come back and be like, hey, sorry guys. I just got abducted for a little while, taken to Thailand, and I'm back. So, it's good to see everyone on here tonight. All right, well, I guess let's get cracking here. Oh my gosh, I forgot to pull up my art. So let me pull that up real quick because it would be great to make some sales. So if you do not already know, which I'm sure you probably do if you've been tuning into this show for a while, I have art, which is on shamanspears.com. They are uniquely handcrafted energy channeling devices, which I've invented myself. They're all for the purpose of channeling energy, but they're like technology and art. They range from smaller wand size to large staff size, and they're all filled with copper coils, crystals, magnets, and sand I collect from sacred places around the world down the insides. They're also painted with crop circles that have been found around the world. And also, oh my gosh, I should have done a show and addressed this like a long time ago during all this past month, but I still have 3 tickets to the Mount Shasta Summer Conference. And the tickets I have left now are 3-day tickets. They're only available to take 3-day tickets now. I still really very much need to sell these tickets, and I've been getting a lot of emails about it. And people are just kind of like asking me about it, what I'm doing and everything. And I just want to say that, in response to everyone's emails, if you want the ticket, just go on here and buy it. You don't have to email me. All you have to do is go here, click on the ticket, and you will be sent all the information. I don't really have the time to go back and forth with everyone about their exact plans, how they're getting there and everything like that. If you want to talk about if you want to know where to stay there and all that, maybe, contact the organizers of the event or look into that. But if you want to go to the conference and you want a ticket to attend the conference, all you have to do is go right here and click on the tickets here on shamanspears.com. And these are 3-day tickets. I have 3-day tickets left. So if you want to get those, check them out right here, and you will receive a confirmation, and I will give your name and email to the conference organizers. So make sure you check that out. And again, if you're someone that's been asking about that, please just go do this. I appreciate all the emails about it, but I don't have the time to really go back and forth with everyone about it. All the information you need to know is right here, and if you purchase a ticket, I will make sure that you get in there. And again, this is actually for me as a way. So basically the organizer set this up so that everyone that's speaking at the event has a way to provide for their travel up there. So me selling these tickets is actually me getting the money to be able to attend the event and speak. So would be much appreciated if you want to buy the tickets and support me and come see me speak along with these other really incredible speakers such as Laura Eisenhower, Alex Collier, Robert Potter, Brooks Agnew, Brad Olson, Ben Chastain. He's not on here for some reason, but yeah, so there's going to be a lot of really amazing homies of mine that are going to be there, and it's going to be really great. So I'm excited for that. Also, more of the Shaman Spirit collection down here. This is an earlier collection, and once I move into my new spot, I'm excited to start the new collection, which I have been working, processing, and I'm excited about that one. So stay tuned for that. And again, here's some Organite creations, which I also made myself. So, any sales from these items are basically what keeps me going, helps me go on these adventures to explore these different sites around the world. And keep my show going. And I really very much appreciate it. So thanks everyone to anyone who's bought a spear. And by the way, if you do purchase a shaman spear, you will receive an ancient scroll that talks about what it means to have one that comes with it. And I do next day shipping on all orders. I have a very streamlined process. So excited for that. And thanks Sylvan Forge for the super sticker. So awesome. I really appreciate that so much. Mr. Real Noodle here says, I need a staff for myself. I got 2 as gifts for family. That would be awesome. Now's the time to do it because I'm actually about to do a couple conferences coming up the next couple months. By the way, Disclosure Fest is next month. The summer solstice in June. And then the following month will be the Mount Shasta Summer Conference. So both those events I'll be selling my spears, and I don't really have the biggest collection right now. I mean, everything you see online is what I have left. I really need to make some new ones because I'm scared that I'm going to do one event and they're all going to sell out. And it actually takes a very long time for me to make these. So if you would like a spear now, I definitely recommend getting it now. Alien Girl is asking Disclosure Fest ? Oh my gosh, if you don't know about Disclosure Fest, it's a really amazing foundation. Actually, originally it's like a foundation that is located in Los Angeles where we do these different initiatives for like feeding the homeless to like helping kids in impoverished neighborhoods and elderly kind of programs, or I'm sorry, that sounded weird. Like programs like kind of being there for the elderly. And besides that, they do these different events throughout the year, and they'll be doing a huge one in LA here coming up on the summer solstice in June. I forget exactly what day the summer solstice is. I believe it's like June 18th or something like that. And it's a 1-day event that is outside. It's always outdoors. And of course, it's always, basically for the most part, always very nice in LA. So should be nice on that day. I'll be selling my spears there. I won't be speaking at that event, but there will be some really incredible speakers such as Laura Eisenhower and Brad Olson and Billy Carson and Jimmy Church. I don't know who else besides that will be speaking. I don't think there's like going to be really necessarily a lot of speakers. It's going to be more about the music and everything. Like they always have really incredible music there. It's kind of more of a festival than like these other UFO conferences. Like this isn't really a conference. It's like a festival, like gathering. It's really amazing. Really, really, really cool event. So I definitely recommend coming out to that one. And also make sure you come out to Mount Shasta in July and come see your girl. And again, check out those tickets on shamanspirits.com. Excited for that. Yeah, Heather here says first day of summer. Yep. June 21st. That's okay. Wow, okay. So I do maybe have time to make a new Shaman Spirits collection before then. So maybe I'll get cracking on that. All right. So, here, let me take some of these down. Okay, let's get going here. So, all right. Okay, so first we're going to start with, kind of the mainstream networks and then work our way through them. So here's the New York Times. House panel to hold public hearing on unexplained aerial sightings. And this just came out today, or yesterday. The subcommittee of the House Intelligence Committee will hear testimony next week from 2 Pentagon officials. A subcommittee is scheduled to hold next week the first open congressional hearing on unidentified aerial vehicles in more than half a century, with testimony from 2 top defense intelligence officials. The hearing comes after the release last June of a report requested by Congress on an unidentified aerial phenomena. The 9-page preliminary assessment from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence focused on 144 incidents dating back to 2004, and was able to explain only one. The report declined to draw inferences, saying that the available reporting was largely inconclusive, and noting that limited and inconsistent data created a challenge in evaluating the phenomena. But it is said most of the phenomena reported do represent physical objects. The assessment concluded that the objects were not secret US technology and that we currently lack data to indicate any UAP are part of a foreign collection program or indicative of a major technological advancement by a potential adversary. So obviously that's talking about maybe a space program from Russia or China or somewhere like that, which is highly likely. The hearing scheduled for next Tuesday is intended to focus on the work of a group. And I just want to say, actually, before we go on here, I'm not saying that there aren't, real ET craft coming here. I think that's very much likely too. I think it's a little bit of both, my personal opinion. Okay, so going on here, because I just don't want to see people in the comments getting a little angry here. Like, what? Aliens are real. Yeah, no, I totally agree. ETs are real. But yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's unidentified aerial phenomena, which could be, ships from Russia or China, and then, things from outer space or maybe inner Earth. Who knows? So going on here, I just wanted to clear that up. The hearing scheduled for next Tuesday is intended to focus on the work of a group within the Pentagon that is following up on the national security and flight safety questions raised by the report. Since this is an area of high public interest, any undue secrecy can serve as an obstacle to solving the mystery, or it could prevent us from finding solutions to potential vulnerabilities, said Representative Andre Carson, Democrat of Indiana and the chairman of House Intelligence Committee's Subcommittee on Counterterrorism, Counterintelligence, and Counterproliferation, which is holding the hearing. This hearing is about examining steps that the Pentagon can take to reduce the stigma surrounding reporting by military pilots and by civilian pilots. And that's kind of ridiculous that they have to do that. Like, basically, this whole thing is examining how the Pentagon can reduce the stigma of military and civilian pilots reporting on this. And why are they not including regular civilians? Like, it's only pilots that are allowed to report on this, technically. Like, they're only trying to clear up the stigma for that, but not, like, everyday citizens that are having sightings. So kind of weird. But it's weird that like they have to do a full report on how to clear up the stigma on this. Like, I don't know. To me, this is just a whole soft disclosure movement. As I've talked about many times before on this show, it's like, the way I've always thought of it is, okay, like there's probably maybe not all the government, certain elements of the government, or people that work in black budget programs who really know what's going on with these, maybe ETs coming here. And they have done this sort of slow disclosure program where it's like, first they're going to be like, oh, we found these organisms on Mars. And then they're going to be like, oh, we found these mammals on this other planet that's inhabitable here, like through the James Webb telescope or something like that. When really, like, the whole time, like, our government may or may not have been working with ETs since the late 30s or early 40s. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. And I feel that this is very much a soft disclosure program that's happening. And they're, like, just kind of easing it on the public. And you've kind of seen this take place over the past couple years, really. At least, I mean, it's been taking place since probably the late 30s, early 40s. But I think this is something that's kind of been eased on the public in a way to make everyone kind of comfortable with being open to the idea of it. But as I always say, like, why the secrecy in the first place? I think that there were aliens here a long time ago, and I think, many ancient civilizations around the world knew about this. But, sorry, I'm just rambling. So let me continue here. Scheduled witnesses to speak at this include Ronald S. Moultrie, under Secretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security, and Scott W. Bray, Deputy Director of Naval Intelligence. Interesting. And obviously, the Navy has supposedly been doing a lot in regards to the UFO disclosure movement. So that's very interesting. The federal government and intelligence community have a critical role to play in contextualizing and analyzing reports, said Representative Adam Schiff, the California Democrat who is chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. He said the purpose of hearing was to illuminate one of the great mysteries of our time and break the cycle of excessive secrecy and speculation with truth and transparency. The report delivered to Congress last July was done by the Intelligence Community along with the Pentagon's Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force, which the Pentagon replaced in November with a new office, the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group. My gosh. Like, what is with these names of what they're calling these divisions of the Pentagon? Like, how is anyone supposed to remember that? It's crazy. Like, why? I don't understand. Like, they should just call it MIB, Men in Black, something like that. Makes it so much easier. Like, seriously, it's crazy. But so the group's job is to detect, identify, and attribute objects of interest in special use airspace and to assess and mitigate any associated threats to safety of flight and national security. Mr. Moultrie oversees the new group, which will be a focus of the upcoming hearings. Last December, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Democrat of New York. I love how this whole article only talks about Democrats. I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, it's the New York Times, so of course. But after I read this New York Times article, I'm going to go over some other ones. So I just want to give everyone kind of a general view, like this is what the mainstream media is saying, and then we're going to go over what some other kind of medias are saying and just kind of get a general overview of what's being put out there right now. Okay, so last December, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Democrat of New York, and Representative Ruben Gallego, Democrat of Arizona, succeeded with bipartisan support in inserting an amendment into the annual National Defense Authorization Act that directs the Pentagon work with the Intelligence Committee on the issue and make public reports about its findings. The amendment expanded the scope of the research beyond what the Pentagon group was already conducting. Congress has not held any open hearings on UFOs since the Air Force closed a public investigation known as Project Blue Book in early 1970. In 1966, Gerald R. Ford, then the House Republican minority leader from Michigan, organized a hearing in response to reports of UFOs by over 40 people, including 12 policemen. The Air Force explained them away as swamp gas, of course, which Mr. Ford said was flippant. I believe the American people are entitled to more thorough explanation than has been given them by the Air Force to date, Mr. Ford said in a letter to two House committees on March 28, 1966. Air Force officials testified about sightings. 2 years later, Congress held a second hearing in which scientists from outside the Air Force presented papers on their own studies of the phenomenon and called for a continued study of unidentified flying objects. The Air Force concluded in 1969 that no UFO had ever threatened national security, that the objects did not display technology beyond what was present-day knowledge, and that there was no evidence indicating the objects were extraterrestrial. The Air Force concluded that no further investigation was warranted. In recent years, intelligence reports and statements by officials have cited concerns about a national security threat from UFOs through advanced technology hinted at by reports from pilots, for example, vehicles traveling at extreme speeds without visible means of propulsion. Officials have voiced doubt that they could be tied to known adversaries. I got okay. Okay, so that was what the New York Times has to say about all of this. Dogs. Okay, dogs don't chase parked cars. That's a funny YouTube name. Says here, so happy something is being done. Yeah, I mean, finally people are, the government is coming out, and that's really great to see. So, and as I was just gonna say, and I'll pull up this comment here, Louis Daigle says, seems to be a distraction tactic. Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. But that's not to say that the whole UFO thing isn't happening. But I think this has a lot to do with, obviously, I mean, in our own government, the Space Force has been launching, all these new craft. There's all these billionaires around the world are working on, advancing their spacefaring technology. And, you know, that just means that not just here, but, in other countries around the world, I'm sure they're advancing their spacecraft beyond what they're necessarily putting out in the public. And I'm sure that's definitely happening here too. So, just that aspect of UFO disclosure is going to be very major in the coming years, as it is already. So, they're going to have to like really work on detecting, what's coming from, maybe some foreign powers have made anti-gravity technology craft already. Maybe we already have and haven't released it. I know that was the case with the SR-71 Blackbird. That craft was being used as a spy plane long before they announced that it was really real, and a lot of people were seeing it and thinking it was a UFO for a long time. I think it's very likely that maybe our government already has created some anti-gravity craft, or some other programs that work with our government, and um, you know like some spy planes. And one of those would be the Black Manta. That's something I've been looking into. Apparently, there's this triangular spy plane that our government may have been working on. So, these things are going on. And so there's this element of it, but then there's also the element of ETs from outer space. But, I feel that a lot of what we experience here that is extraterrestrial or interterrestrial may for the most part be more interdimensional. Like, I think if they can just, pop in and zoom around in the sky and then disappear, like that's an interdimensional craft, and that's like a lot of sightings that people see that I don't think could be explained as, a secret space program or a secret government program. So, there you go with that. um I'm just laughing at this comment here. The aliens are vegan tree huggers. They want to get along. I hope that's the case. And I actually plan on doing a show about that, because I had an interesting conversation recently, actually, with some people when I was out in Thailand. I always just kind of bring up aliens whenever I'm around people, because I don't know, it's interesting. And these people were trying to tell me, like, I don't know. I had some people saying like, "Oh, we think that we shouldn't be sending signals out into outer space because that could cause, uh, you know, malevolent ETs to come here and try to invade us." And it's like, why is that always the mindset? Like, why do we think as humans? Maybe because we already have this tribalism, like war-like mentality, or at least people that run things here. So, but why should we expect like ETs to be that way? I just personally, I think it'd be really cool if like Hollywood would make a movie. And I know I've said this before, and like there are some movies like this, but I think it'd be really freaking cool if Hollywood made a movie of ETs coming here and just like hanging out and like, I don't know, making friends with us and showing us some cool things, and then maybe we show them some cool things, and then we like create a kind of relationship with their planet or something. I think that would be really cool. I'm tired of this like mentality, like, oh, they're gonna come here, like ETs are bad, they're all gonna come here and kill us. Like I don't think that's 100% true. And agreed. George A here says we have all been programmed by Hollywood. Yep, pretty much exactly. Okay. So I'm gonna pull up another article here. Okay, so this is gonna be on the same topic, but I just want to get this from another organization, go over it. So I'm gonna go over a little bit of this one. It might be kind of the same thing, but I just want to see if this is in any way different. You know, we can kind of go over that together. So this is Politico. One of the greatest mysteries of our time. Congress to hold UFO hearing next week. Oversight committees are finally getting serious about unidentified aerial phenomena. The question is whether national security agencies will follow their lead. A House committee will hold a public hearing on UFOs next Tuesday for the first time in decades, as Congress presses the Pentagon and other national security agencies for more answers on reports of mysterious aircraft violating protected airspace. And, you know, actually going through this pretty much looks like the same thing I just read. So I'm just going to kind of go through this here. Yeah, you know, it's basically all the same thing. So, sorry. I just don't feel like reading all that again. I think we should move on here. So let me pull those down. Okay. Okay, so let's just get into a new topic. I think you know, we basically covered that, and it's gonna be interesting to see what they say over the coming days with that. I don't know if they're filming this. I don't know. Oh, we got Jermaine in the comments here. Jermaine, do you know if they're actually live streaming this UFO report that's happening with Congress? Let me know in the comments here, because that'd be interesting to watch. I don't think they'll be doing that though, or not from what I know. So we'll see. All right, so let's just move on to something different right now. And this kind of goes along the same lines. And so this is from the Daily Star. Take UFO sightings seriously or we'll lose control of our airspace, warns US politician. And this just came out on May 6th. So I'm going to cover this one because kind of is along the same lines here. Senior US politicians are demanding defense chiefs actively tackle the threat of unidentified flying machines and do more than just record their sightings before they lose their airspace. Calls have been made for the US authorities to wake up and take UFOs seriously. Senior politicians in the states are demanding defense chiefs globally do more than just record sightings and actively tackle the unidentified flying machines. It comes after British UFO investigator Nick Pope said 2022 will be a seismic year for UFOs. Tennessee Representative Tim Burchett accused the Pentagon of hiding information from Congress. He said, I don't trust the Department of Defense to get this right since leadership there has always been part of a cover-up. It is clear from the public evidence that we don't have full control of our airspace. That's a national security issue and is also unacceptable. The unit, which is supposed to be fully operational by next month, was granted the authority to pursue any resource, capability, asset, or process to investigate unidentified aerial phenomena, the now widely accepted name for UFOs. Legislation signed into law by President Joe Biden, sorry, I had a puke in my mouth a little bit there, has requested an intelligence collection and analysis plan to gain as much knowledge as possible regarding the technical and operational characteristics, origins, and intentions of unidentified aerial phenomena. Mr. Pope recently said, I'm confident that 2022 is going to be a seismic year for UFOs. I think we'll see congressional hearings on UFOs, which is the case. I also think we'll see the release of more US military photos and videos of UFOs and associated documents. That would be great because I don't know about all of you, but I'm really tired of seeing the same photo that's like a blurry I figured it'd be on the cover of this, but you know what I'm talking about, right? It's like that blurry photo of like a flying saucer and like the crosshairs of like a pilot's vision or something. It's just like, why are they always sharing that one? Like, I know they have more than that. For some reason, they just keep sharing that same one over and over. It's kind of ridiculous. Okay, so some of this may come via whistleblowers, but much of it may be released by the government itself, either proactively or in response to requests under the Freedom of Information Act. And this is something that's been going on for a long time. This isn't just happening now. As anyone that's in the disclosure community is very much aware of. A lot of people that are in the disclosure community have worked for the government in different programs and are whistleblowers themselves. And this has been going on for a long time. So it's kind of interesting they're saying here, like, oh, maybe this should happen. Like, it's been happening, okay? And Nick Pope knows this. Just saying. But the Freedom of Information Act, that's a very great act that is like in our Constitution, and people need to take advantage of that more. And I think this is being taken advantage of finally, or people are at least demanding it. So should be interesting to see what happens, I guess, in the coming years. Like, maybe they'll actually let the whistleblowers who have been coming out forever about what they have experienced actually come forward on bigger media platforms. So we'll see. And finally, I think we'll see more high caliber witnesses coming forward, including commercial airline pilots, military aircrew, radar operators, and intelligence officers with direct knowledge of this subject. Okay. Florida Senator Marco Rubio is not happy with his government's response to reports of aliens, according to one of his aides. They said Rubio is definitely frustrated. They're not moving fast enough, not doing enough, not sharing enough. The administration is aware of the concerns and is not at the level it needs to be. A former senior intelligence official who had authority over classified documents detailing UFO sightings told Politico, "I've seen everything we have in the files, and I'm very confident they're not ours." The US government released a UFO report in June 2021. The Pentagon studied 144 incidents reported by military pilots between 2004 and 2001 and preparing the report. Officials were able to explain one of the incidents, it was a balloon, but the rest remained a mystery. Okay, so there's that. Whew. Okay. Just going to the comments here. Okay, so the photo I was trying to explain earlier of the UFO and the crosshairs, apparently James from ESETI calls it the fuzzy tic tac. I thought it looked more like a flying saucer, the one I was talking about. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm just gonna pull this comment up. I'm not gonna say it myself, but I may agree with that. I might. Okay. Jermaine, I'm seeing Jermaine in the comments here. I just want to say I don't know if you saw my comment earlier, but I would very much like to have you on. I mean, who here in the community would like to see Jermaine on my show? I know I would. So he just spoke at the Secret Space Program conference that the Journey to Truth guys put on, which I heard went really well. I wish I could have been there. I was having some health issues, so I couldn't make it out. But I just got back from Thailand. But I would absolutely love to have Jermaine on. So I'd like to actually have him on tomorrow. So I'm waiting to see his reply on that. That would be way cool. All right, just going through the comments here. Okay, so let's move on to something else. We're at almost an hour here. So, okay, so this is kind of crazy. I know this is like a week old, but I didn't have a chance to go over this yet. So, NASA cam records black cube exiting the sun before sight is shut down. Yeah, that actually happened. Check this out. Okay, I know it doesn't look like much, but let's go over this. So NASA shut down its official sun observatory amid sightings of a black cube, according to a conspiracy theorist. Who knows what's going on out there in the great void? Space is a terrifying abyss of vast, uncharted territory, the likes of which can boggle the brain if you allow it to get the better of you. We're all just organisms floating on a giant hunk of space rock around a star. However, that big blinding ball in the sky is a source of constant fascination, and on this occasion, speculation. For those who don't want to burn their retina staring right into the sun, you can look up the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, SOHO, at any time of the day to get detailed images. SOHO marks international collaboration between ESA and NASA to study the sun from its deep core to the outer corona and the solar wind, according to his website. Scott C. Waring, an extraterrestrial expert running the UFO Sightings Daily YouTube channel, has claimed that the American Space Agency shut down the website when a black cube emerged from the sun. On May 6th at around 1:06 p.m. GMT, not sure what that time stands for, a rather small cubic-shaped puff comes out of the sun. In his video, Waring says you can see the cube coming out of the sun, and right after that, a big glitch that covers 25% of that. There it is, gone. Glitch. 2 frames of the cube coming out of the sun, and then a huge glitch. 1, 2, glitch. Guys, this is mind-boggling, and this is the SOHO official website. You also see the cube and timestamp matches. Okay, so similarly to the SOHO website, Helio Viewer was briefly shut down for maintenance around the time of the sighting. According to Waring, NASA may be hiding mysterious objects flying through space. While experts have treated such claims with skepticism in the past, Waring's comment section is full of support. And, you know, before I play this, I just want to say that my particular thoughts on this are that becoming a type 1, type 2, type 3 civilization, it's really important to understand the difference between that and where we're at right now. We as humanity, as a planet, have not yet been able to tap into basically tapping into the power of our own planet or accessing the power of our own planet. Becoming a type 2 civilization is, I believe, accessing or using the power of the solar system or the sun. And then type 3 civilization is tapping into like the power of the cosmos or like ether. So I think that I believe that there are probably, extraterrestrial intelligence out there that can actually go and harness the power of the sun, and they probably or stars, and they probably can go around the stars and pull out, some of the energy and use it to like power their crafts. So there's been actually like a lot of shows on this that, are on like History Channel and things like that on how this could be possible. And I find the topic very fascinating because I really think that it'd be great to see humanity at least become a type 1 civilization, but if not a type 2. And if we became a type 2 civilization, that would mean us going to the sun and harvesting energy from the sun to power whatever, anything on our planet. And that would be amazing. So let's look at this.
Hey guys, this is Scott, and I got something for you on the sun. This is from exactly the same, 1306, May 2nd. So that's just pretty amazing. I went over to make a video of it. It didn't work. They covered up this whole coming out of this. They were just trying to hide it. And that's why they went to photos. But instantly from
Okay, I'm
NASA
sorry. I thought that was going to be a video, but I don't have time to go through a 4-minute video and find that. But obviously right here, you can see like this is the captured image of it coming out. And if you want to take the time to go through that whole video, feel free to do that. All right. Let's see here. Just following up on the comments. Okay. Dormouse says, we're a type 0 civilization, apparently. Yep. Unfortunately, it looks like that's where we are. Hopefully, we can change that soon, and then we'll have free energy. Okay, so... This is interesting. You know, I thought I had something about Bigfoot up here, but apparently I didn't. Okay, well, I guess I'll go over that later. But this I pulled up, which is came out today actually. UFO expert claims to have spotted a tomb on Mars similar to Egyptian pyramids. Scott C. Waring believes the tomb doorway he has spotted on Mars, which bears a resemblance to entrances to Egyptian tombs, is only a foot tall and used by 8-inch aliens. A self-professed UFO expert has claimed to have found a tomb entrance on the surface of Mars similar to those built of Egyptian pharaohs. Scott C. Waring took to his YouTube channel for UFO sightings daily to share what he believes is 100% proof that alien life once lived on Mars. In the video, he analyzes the footage and compares the 1-foot-tall doorway to Ramesses' tomb in ancient Egypt, and sensationally believes there are 8-inch tall creatures he believes has been spotted on the red planet previously. He explained Mars has so much proof of ancient alien life. Look at these recent photos taken by the rover this week. Okay, whoa. Is that actually what they found? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. At first I thought this was the photo he was talking about. I'm like, okay, that's pretty crazy. But you know, apparently this is what they found. And I don't know why he thinks that's 8 inches tall. I don't see why he would. I mean, how would he know how tall that is from that image? I think I would say it'd probably be a lot taller. I don't know why he thinks it's that tall. Where 2 photos show a doorway in the hillside. The entrance looks very similar to the ancient Egyptian entrances in the Valley of Kings in Egypt, which I've been there before. They all look like that, definitely. You know, with so much concrete evidence, no pun intended, I don't know how archaeologists could deny such things. I mean, archaeologists became what they are for the passion they have at cracking the mystery of life at different stages. Mars is proof of life so early it goes beyond anything that Earth has to offer. You know, and obviously, this guy's talking about this little doorway, but there are so many things that have been found on the surface of Mars through like these images and was it the GPS or mapping system that they've done over the surface. And the ones that stand out most to me are obviously the pyramids on Mars. There's been a lot on that, and like the face on Mars. And I believe at one point someone found like a scarab shaped object on Mars. So there's definitely some Egyptian type evidence. And I don't even think the Egyptians would call it Egyptian. I think the Egyptians found the pyramids, from what I've heard. So, I mean, there's pyramids all over the world. They're obviously not just Egyptian because we have pyramids on every continent. Okay. So one more oh, okay, sorry, I just deleted something. 1 second here. Okay, and I also want to catch you all up with the latest in James Webb, the James Webb telescope, what's going on with that. So let's pull that up here. It's just good. I feel like I have a feeling personally. Let me go back to this. I just kind of personally have a feeling that the James Webb Telescope, they're going to use this, as I was talking about earlier, about the slow leak of like the soft disclosure program that we're experiencing right now. I feel like it's going to be like the government's way of like, you know, maybe like slowly releasing some like smaller alien life on other planets. Like they're going to be like, oh, look, we zoomed in on this planet over here. Oh, we think we found like these like mammals or animals or something like that. You know, that's what my personal opinion. I think something crazy is going to happen with that personally. Um I think it may happen within this year. I'm calling it. So we'll wait and see. But anyway, okay, so James Webb Space Telescope's optical alignment perfect, NASA says. And this is from yesterday, 7:37 a.m. 4.5 months after the James Webb Space Telescope's Christmas Day launch, engineers have achieved near perfect alignment of its complex optical system, setting the stage for final instrument calibrations and the release of the first showcase science images in July, officials said Monday. I'm delighted to report that the telescope alignment has been completed with performance even better than we had anticipated, said Michael McElwain, Webb project scientist at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center. We basically reached a perfect telescope alignment. There's no adjustment to the telescope optics that would make material improvements to our science performance. And so here's a couple photos that have been released. Wow, that's beautiful. On April 18th, test images released showing razor-sharp stars, and Monday, a fresh image was unveiled showing two views of a star field in the Large Magellanic Cloud, a satellite galaxy of the Milky Way. One image was shot by a much smaller, now retired Spitzer Space Telescope, and the other by Webb's Mid-Infrared Instrument, or MIRI. The Spitzer image shows blurred stars with hints of nebulosity. That's a cool word, nebulosity. I like that. But Webb's view shows crystal clear pinpoint stars and clearly defined clouds and filaments stretching across the field of view. From a sort of intellectual standpoint, you can appreciate that the images from Webb are going to be better because we have 18 mirror segments, every one of which is larger than the single segment that formed the Spitzer telescope's mirror, said Marcia Reich, principal investigator for Webb's Near-Infrared Camera, or NIRCAM. It's not until you actually see the kind of image that it delivers that you really internalize and go, wow, just think of what we're going to learn. Spitzer taught us a lot, but this is like a whole new world, just unbelievably beautiful. Scientists and engineers now plan to spend the next 2 months carefully checking out and calibrating Webb's 4 science instruments, collecting test images and spectra to verify 17 different operating modes before beginning Cycle 1 science observations this summer. But first, the team plans to unveil a series of early release observations, or EROs, that's weird, jaw-dropping images of spectacular astronomical targets that will showcase Webb's scientific capability and in the process help justify its $10 billion price tag. The list of potential targets is a closely held secret, but NASA plans to unveil the selected ERO images and spectra in mid-July. Their objective is to demonstrate to the world and to the public that Webb is fully operational and that it produces excellent results. I'm sorry, what's my place here? Said Klaus Pontoppidan, weird name, Webb project scientist at the Space Telescope Science Institute in Baltimore. It's also an opportunity to celebrate the beginning of many years of Webb science. He said the targets selected by a committee of experts will showcase all 4 science instruments to highlight all the Webb science's themes, from the early universe to galaxies over time to the life cycle of stars and to other worlds. Webb was designed to capture faint light from the first generations of stars and galaxies to form in the wake of the Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago. Light that has been stretched out into the infrared region of the spectrum by the expansion of space itself. To reach its razor-sharp focus, Webb's secondary mirror and the 18 hexagonal segments of its 21.3-foot wide primary mirror, each one equipped with ultra-precise tilt actuators, had to be aligned with nanometer precision, an iterative process that effectively merged 18 reflected beams into a single point. To detect the stretched out infrared light from the first stars and galaxies, Webb had to operate within a few degrees of absolute zero, a feat made possible by a fragile 5-layer sunshade that deployed flawlessly shortly after launch. Since then, the mirrors and instruments have cooled down to around 390 degrees below zero Fahrenheit, while MIRI, equipped with a high-tech cryocooler to improve its ability to observe longer wavelengths, has reached minus 449 degrees, just 6 degrees above absolute zero. Overall, the observatory performance has been phenomenal, Mick Elwin said. We're really in the home stretch. At this point, we're characterizing and calibrating both the observatory and science instruments. From my perspective, there's always risk going forward, but I have great confidence that we will get to the finish line here. And we'll have a terrific science mission with tremendous scientific discovery in the next few months. So I'm just super excited at this point. Pretty funny. So yeah, I feel that something, well, not mean to do that. I feel that something's going to happen with all this. I think they might release some crazy stuff. I'm just saying. I'm looking forward to that. I'm calling it right now. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Should be interesting. So I've been on for about an hour here, and I just want to say, like, how do these scientists even come up with stuff? I mean, I can't even fathom how they even began to make this telescope. I mean, this is so crazy. Just reading that there and all the little details of everything that happens and takes place throughout the mission. It's like I can't even begin to comprehend how they even got this all together. I mean, it's so crazy. So really cool to talk about, actually, and to think about. Oops. So just reading all the comments here. Thanks everyone for joining tonight. It was really cool to do another show because I haven't done one in a while, and I missed talking to you all. And like I said, I plan on doing some interviews coming up here in the next month. Again, I'm probably gonna have a crazy month in regards to moving. I don't know if that'll be happening at the end of this month or early next month. But again, please come check out Disclosure Fest and check out my tickets I have for sale for the event in July at Mount Shasta. I still have to sell, these are 3-day tickets I have to sell now that are up on my site at shamanspears.com. I still really need to sell these tickets for this event. And again, many people have asked me, if you want to buy a ticket, please just go here. I've been getting emails about it and people ask me different questions. And like, seriously, all you need to do is just click here and get the ticket. Like, that's how you get it. You don't need to contact me directly about it. You will get the ticket and all the information is right here. If you need to know where to stay or something, like, you just got to figure that out yourself. I've been having people ask me that, and that's just something you got to work out. So I know there aren't like a lot of airports that are super close. I think the nearest airport is like an hour away in Oregon, or 45 minutes, which actually really isn't too, like, anytime I fly into LA airport, it takes like an hour for me to get to my place through traffic, and it's like, $40 to $100 Uber ride. So it is what it is, and obviously you have to take care of your lodging. So you can go to the site promisesrevealed.net to check out where and that's here. I have that listed here to check out exactly where the location is and everything. But you'll be getting a confirmation if you purchase the tickets from me. You get a confirmation and all the information. And again, this is just a 3-day ticket to attend the conference. So you have to take care of the lodging and how you get there yourself. I can't help you with that. And if you want to support me, support my show, it would be very much appreciated. A lot goes into what I'm doing, and I actually have a lot of projects in the works for the future here in regards to doing shorter episodes, like edited 15-minute episodes, because people have been asking me for that. I came up with a ton of topics that I could do like little episodes with, and I'm really excited about that because I think they'll bring in a lot more subscribers and I will promote those. So if you would like to support me and the more I make from selling my art on here, that just gives me more time to focus on these other things instead of going around booking gigs and everything. So would be much appreciated. Again, my uniquely handcrafted energy channeling devices are all on shamanspears.com. They're all created by yours truly, autographed by yours truly, and I do next day shipping on all orders. So would be much appreciated. And also I have these Orgonite objects, and I have tons of new Orgonite I made that I should probably put up on here soon. But again, there's a lot of projects in the works that I'll be probably coming out with next month, so I'm excited for that. All right, everyone, thanks so much for tuning in tonight. I really appreciate it. And again, I'm going to be back here next Wednesday. I'm going to go back to my regular Wednesday schedule. So make sure you remember to tune in on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, or wherever you're at during that time, anywhere in the world. So thanks, everyone. And until next time on Apollo's Odyssey, over and out.